I have a couple of personal things ongoing, which means I'm not as active on this as I would like to be, but uh, I couldn't ignore this weekend. It's the Royal Rumble weekend, one of my favourites of the year. It's one of my favourite events of the wrestling calendar, the Royal Rumble. You never know who's going to step through the curtain as the countdown concludes. And big news is actually just broke just as I was about to record this video regarding next year's Royal Rumble. WWE through their corporate Twitter has announced that next year, Sunday, January 28th, 2018, the Royal Rumble will emanate from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. And not only that, Philadelphia wrestling fans can have their cheesesteak and eat it, as the Wells Fargo Center will host WWE on 4 consecutive nights. On the 27th, it will host the NXT TakeOver special. The next night, of course, the Royal Rumble. The night after that, the Monday, it will host Raw. And the night after, it will host SmackDown Live. So a lot of action for Philadelphian fans to enjoy next January. Now, talking about this weekend though, 3 great shows that I'm really interested in seeing and I'm looking forward to immensely. Scottish Wrestling Entertainment's latest monthly Uprising at the Arthur Complex here in Dundee, Uprising Guerrilla Warfare. There's also, of course, the NXT TakeOver special, TakeOver San Antonio, plus also in San Antonio, of course, the Royal Rumble itself. What an amazing busy weekend over 2 days, really. There will be 3 great wrestling shows, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens on all of these shows. Well, first of all, because I'll take these in chronological order, but Scottish Wrestling Entertainment's monthly Uprising event, Uprising Guerrilla Warfare, as I said, this coming Saturday at the Arthur Complex in Dundee. Doors open, I believe, the usual time about 6 o'clock. So it's going to be a really great show. There are a couple of mystery opponents lined up. A couple of surprises are apparently lined up. We heard rumours of an internationally renowned guest. I don't know anything more about that, whether it's still happening. But this is definitely the best, really only proper wrestling show happening in Dundee this coming Saturday. There's a few matches announced already, so let's go through them. Supercharge, who are Scotty Ricio and Spike Tierney, will face a rematch against Dead Cell, who are Nathan Reynolds and Gear of War Kevin Williams. Those two teams have had a rivalry ongoing the last couple of months. The first of the mystery opponent matches, Sarah Marie Taylor, who made her debut at this past Hell for Lycra last August. She will face a mystery opponent. We will not know who that is until they walk through the curtain. And also we will not know who is facing the reigning SWE Future Division Champion Stephen Air Miles until also they walk through the curtain on the night. No idea whether Stephen Air Miles' Future Division Championship will be up for grabs, but Stephen Air Miles is a fighting champion. That might seem to some people a bit of a cliche, but he puts it up on the line. Places like Edinburgh, all across Dundee and all across Tayside SWE shows, he will put that title up on the line. Just like the SW roster, they'll fight whoever, whenever. Stephen Air Miles is really dominating this Future Division Championship. And he is really doing great things. I definitely see he could be a serious potential future SW heavyweight champion, like many of the guys on the roster. But I'm looking forward to who will face Sarah Marie Taylor and who will face Stephen Air Miles. Guaranteed 2 separate matches, 2 separate mystery opponents. Will we see a guest who's internationally renowned? I have no idea, but I'm looking forward to seeing who wants to step up to take on Sarah Marie Taylor and Stephen Air Miles. Also, the number 1 contenders match for the SWE Heavyweight Championship Whoever wins gets an opportunity very soon at the SWE Heavyweight Champion, the very good Mr. Ewan G. Mackey. It's #scumbag Ian Ambrose versus Charles Phoenix, two guys who have long histories and have been feuding lately. #scumbag Ian Ambrose with his Scumbucks partner JD Wild against Charles Phoenix and his Destruction by Design, including the likes of Felix Fortune and Lix Tetrax. Also, talking of Felix Fortune will be taking on the TNA sensation, the World of Sport Wrestling Champion, a guy who's generally doing phenomenally well for himself, GRADO. GRADO versus Felix Fortune will feature at SWE's Uprising Guerrilla Warfare this coming Saturday. Some good matches. Hopefully we'll get one or two more. I'm sure there normally is around about 6-7 matches at SWE shows. Again, it depends on who these mystery opponents are. We are promised one or two surprises. There has been a challenge by the SWE interim general manager Dr. Grew against another promoter, which I don't think will obviously happen. And I'm not going to give them the era publicity, the other group, to talk about them because of their attitude and rudeness that has been given to the SW Army, the SW fans. Even when just the basic general inquiries about the show were being made, all these inquiries were met with just general disgusting attitude, unprofessional attitude, and sheer rudeness. And I talked about it before, but it's going to be a great show. Scottish Wrestling Entertainment at the Uprising Guerrilla Warfare at the Adler Complex in Dundee this coming Saturday. Tickets are available only at the door now. I did record a kind of version of this yesterday. I thought it went far too long. But they have announced that the ringside seats are now sold out, but general admission tickets are available at the door. Limited general admission tickets are available at the door. Hope to see a lot of people there to show their real support. Like Braveheart said earlier this week of the so-called competition, not really competition. SWE have an army. He only has a checkbook. Now talking about the second show that I'm really looking forward to, NXT TakeOver San Antonio. Oh, I hope it will be glorious, because this is a really exciting... NXT, as I said before, have a really exciting roster right now. 5 matches are scheduled. I believe this will probably be the full lineup. We have Roderick Strong making it, I believe, maybe his TakeOver debut against Andrade Cien Almas. That should be hopefully a good match. I think Almas is really underrated. I followed him in Mexico. He's a really good wrestler, formerly known as La Sombra. He's not shown what he can do, I don't think, in NXT, unfortunately. Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger is the next match. I was really glad to see, I should really call him Killian Dane, accept the jacket from Eric Young to become part of Sanity. Hopefully we'll see a summer of Sanity in NXT. Great to see him and Nikki Cross in a group in NXT. They fully deserve their chance. I've said it loads of times. I'll repeat myself again though, because it deserves saying. Killian Dane and Nikki Cross deserve to be where they are, and I really hope they're successful. I really hope that WWE and NXT pushes the Sanity group. Though there is obviously talk about different potential feuds and different possibilities of how they will actually go on forward from this takeover. But Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger should be a good match. Ty Dillinger this week, of course, last week refusing to join Sanity, which leads to this match. But I'm looking forward to it. This should be a decent one, and hopefully Sanity again will get their chance. And talking of Nikki Cross, she is in the next match. Asuka will defending her NXT Women's Championship against Nikki Cross, against Billie Kay, against Peyton Royce, in a fatal 4-way match. To be honest, I would kind of like to see WWE be shaken up a little bit going into the spring. Well, really, we're starting to, I suppose, get into the spring spring summer season. I would like to see NXT get a little bit shaken up. I'd love to see Nikki Cross take the NXT Women's Championship. I'm not entirely sure it will happen. I think Asuka might retain. I honestly thought we might see Mickie James continue in NXT, but she was of course being taken to SmackDown. Asuka has to lose the title at some point, and they have been talking quite often about her long championship reign, which leads me to think they may, in fact, be considering taking the title off Asuka. I'd love to see Nikki Cross upset uh, a few people and take that NXT Women's Championship. DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa will defend the NXT Tag Team Championships against the Authors of Pain, Razor and Akam, accompanied of course with Paul Ellering. This is a difficult one as well. I like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. They're coming together as a tag team very well. I know they were teaming shortly before NXT, but I'm kind of split on this one. Like I said, I kind of like to see NXT and WWE shaken up a little bit. Things moving on in NXT before it starts to get stale. So I'm kind of leaning towards the Authors of Pain to take the NXT Tag Team Championships in this one. Also, Shinsuke Nakamura defending the NXT Championship against Bobby Roode. I have to go Bobby Roode for this one. I like Shinsuke Nakamura. I think he deserves to be in the main roster. I would love to see him get a WrestleMania moment. I'm not entirely sure that will happen, but this year at least. I'm kind of leaning towards Bobby Roode. We've been a fan of Bobby Roode for years. I think I would like to see him perhaps take the NXT Championship and let NXT be glorious, and then they can promote Shinsuke Nakamura to the summer. It's good. Maybe it's a little bit too early, maybe, because they tend to shake things up after WrestleMania. After WrestleMania is where we see people moving the rosters and maybe getting promoted from NXT. But I would kind of like to see Bobby Roode maybe shock a few people. I think people like Bobby Roode. The song is obviously glorious, but I'd like to see Bobby Roode maybe take the NXT Championship, kind of to refresh the NXT scene and really show why Bobby Roode left TNA and why he came why he went to WWE. Also, of course, on Sunday it will be the Royal Rumble event. Again, one of my favourite shows of the year. I really love the Royal Rumble match. I was a little bit disappointed with the recent Royal Rumble documentary. I would like to have seen them go through it chronologically. I don't think it hit the spots that I would have liked it done. It was okay, but it's quite a good DVD and some great Rumble matches on it. But this year's Rumble, a lot of matches, of course, scheduled for it. There's a couple of pre-show matches. Got the Wikipedia page. There's a couple of matches scheduled for the pre-show, which I believe these are right. There's Cesaro and Sheamus defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. Part 2 referees are, of course, signed to this match. I'd like to see Gallows and Anderson take the tag titles. Again, I've been a fan of these guys for a few years. They've done really great in Japan, obviously part of the Bullet Club, but in the tag team scene in New Japan Pro Wrestling, they dominated. I would love to see them get a tag team championship in WWE. Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax is the other pre-show match. Again, I want to see things shaken up, so I'm going Nia Jax. Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns in a no disqualification match for the WWE Universal Championship. Chris Jericho suspended in a shark cage above the ring. As much as I'd like to see things shaken up, I don't like Roman Reigns. I don't think he's the greatest worker on set. I know some people really like him. It seems to be popular to boo him right now. I'm going to go Kevin Owens to retain the title right now. AJ Styles versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. This is also a difficult one. I believe that we will see John Cena take a 16th World Championship and equal Ric Flair's reign. But I'm still going to go with AJ Styles. I would like to see win that match. Charlotte Flair defends the WWE Raw Women's Championship against Bayley. again, I would like to see maybe Bailey to win. Charlotte keeps winning it on pay per view, losing it on like Raws Raws, and then uh, winning it back on the pay per view. I like to see Bailey maybe be crowned as the Raw Women's Champion. I know some people said they would like to see that happen at WrestleMania, but I would like to see Bailey actually go into a WrestleMania with a strong showing as champion. That she's earned it. She's finally stepping onto the WrestleMania stage as the Raw Women's Champion. Kind of living her dream, etc. I like to see that rather than a little bit of an obvious story of her winning it at WrestleMania. Rich Swann versus Neville, again, shake things up. I'd like to see Neville, who really deserves to get his opportunity again in WWE. He's been a little bit pushed to the back with injuries, and when he came in, he was great at NXT, and then he went to the main roster, got a big push as a kind of superhero, and then it's like WWE lost interest in him after a while. I like to see Neville take the Cruiserweight Championship from Rich Swann, maybe shake things up like the 205 Live. And also, of course, there's the Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, and Naomi versus Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalia. Just to see Mickie James get a win on a WWE pay per view, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Natalia to win that match. Also, of course, there is the main event. I think this should be the main event, the Royal Rumble match itself. It's a really a bit of a crapshoot to see who wins this. We know 22 of the 30 competitors: Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Chris Jericho, Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, The Undertaker, Dean Ambrose, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Cesaro, Sheamus, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Luke Harper, Big Show, Sami Zayn, Big Cass, Rusev, and Mojo Rawley. That's the 22 names that we know so far as announced Royal Rumble match participants. Again, a bit of a crapshoot. I really don't know. I said it last year. I'd like to see Bray Wyatt take the win and kind of this Summer of Darkness and this whole kind of like. I know a lot of people compare him to the Undertaker. This whole kind of evil persona, like Summer of Darkness thing, over WWE. Uh, but I'm really not sure who. I obviously like to see one or two surprises, and hopefully we will get one or two surprises at the Royal Rumble. I don't think we'll see Kurt Angle. I don't think we'll see Kenny Omega. I know Kurt has been pulled from an independent show this weekend, although I actually have heard reports that he wasn't even scheduled to travel. He was only scheduled to do the commentary via link. Can't guarantee that is absolutely true, but that's what I've heard. The rumours that I've heard locally, that he wasn't actually scheduled to appear in person, which would, to be honest, disappoint a hell of a lot of people who thought they might see him here and get the chance to meet him like I did this past November at ICW's Fear and Loathing. But Royal Rumble, I hope we get to see one or two surprises. I honestly I want to stick with Bray Wyatt because I like to see him actually get pushed for to the WWE Championship. I think he's got a couple of great runs in him that WWE have not capitalised on yet. But whatever, hopefully WWE will shake things up. I hope that they don't just run things over with the Goldberg Brock Lesnar feud. I hope they don't ruin the Royal Rumble match for the sake of one or two feuds going into WrestleMania of guys whose match really should not be for a championship. I think we'll see Goldberg and Lesnar again at WrestleMania. Their match should not be and doesn't need to be for a championship. I hope they don't kind of wreck their any title plans just for the sake of trying to make the feud mean more by having a championship associated with it. But it's going to be a great weekend. I'm looking forward to these three shows. I'll of course talk about them next week. Got a new lens for my camera. It'll take a little bit of getting used to, I think. But hopefully it'll help improve my pictures. I'll take a lot of pictures at the SW event. Talk about that event as well. Depending on the schedule, a few personal things unfortunately ongoing that really do require my ongoing attention. But it's Royal Rumble weekend. 3 shows, 3 great cards. I can't wait to see where everything lies after Tuesday night.